What are some of the things, positive or negative, that Campbell's staff has done that have surprised you so far? Nate, do you have something that you've been surprised by? If you like, I can go first. I had a thought here from the staff building process of this, but do you have something that jumps to mind, or do you want me to filibuster while you think about it?
I want you to start.
Okay, so I thought it was interesting that he kept Trace McSorley. Not necessarily because just like it's an easy transition of like, thank you for your service. We got Jake Waters, we got other guys that we want to bring on. And it's not like Trace McSorley has been coaching for a long time. And it's not like he has this recruiting pedigree or any of the things that you might say. They didn't even keep any of the quarterbacks on the roster from last year. Other than, I should say, Lambert is still here. So, like, I don't want to say none of them. But, like, the scholarship players all left in the transfer portal. Which speaks to the fact that he wanted Trace McSorley to be on the roster, which goes back to my point about this is a young staff. He seems to very much like to put together, on the offensive side of the ball, up-and-coming coaches that he thinks warrant the development from him and his side of things and the relationship with the young players. And that was a mild surprise, I guess, early in the process that Trace McSorley was one of the few that was retained on the staff on the offensive side of the ball, because very much it was taking what was at Iowa State and bringing it over. There was not a lot of retention on that side from the offensive staff. So for me, that was the surprising thing initially. Do you have something for me at this point, Nate?
Sure. This isn't the staff. This is Matt Campbell himself. But just generally has brought in a different vibe. And, I think it's a thing that we'll have to wait to see what its impact is. But I just think, and again, like you cannot help but compare past to present. And when you're coming out of a circumstance where every day felt high strung and the Super Bowl isn't the right word, but like high stakes, right? And it is high stakes. And so it's a different management style, but like it's been presented to me, Fitz, I'm sure you've heard the same. Like it's not like that. It's not like that in the Lash building right now, right? In the Lash building, it is more of a, hey, it's February and everybody's got stuff to do. You know what your responsibilities are. Just ease yourself, like settle into how you do your job and do it well. And that's good, right? You don't have to feel like you're looking over your shoulder or that you're being, kind of criticized or over evaluated every step of the way. So I do think it fits Matt Campbell's persona, right? In terms of how he arrived at Penn State in the first place, of just kind of this down to earth guy, right? Who has a management style that matches that. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that evolves. Certainly the players are raring to go and want to, really get into the process of building football. And I can't remember 2 weeks ago if I mentioned this, but a big part of this right now is like, hey, you guys, like the football will come. Like that stuff, the X's and O's, all of that stuff will be there and will be absorbed and worked on, but not before you guys know what your identity as a team is, how to interact with each other, right? That team building process has emerged as being very important to Matt
and
Campbell.
Not lip service and
not lip service. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in an era where like, look, it's that was the thing that was important before as well, right? That was an important thing under James Franklin.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean specifically, but it is team building in this generation can be a bit about lip service because you're buying players from the portal, right? And so a lot of teams go through this transactional relationship with players to begin with. And so then you talk about, then they all get here and you go, okay, team building. And it's like, is that really important to you or is it talent acquisition? And so like that was all I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think it's I think in my funny brain it's like trust falls, and it's not that. Right? It's not like your teammates will be there to pick you up.
I want to see Keanu Williams do a trust fall now. I
Yeah,
want to see. I
absolutely.
want to see who's trying to catch
You can
him.
get behind him then. Yeah.
But in terms of the priorities, in terms of what they're trying to do on the front end of this, I think that their heads and their hearts are in the right place, right? Like this is a unique challenge that I'm not sure. Look, Prime in Colorado, right? You've seen some across the college football landscape, some of these massive overhauls of programs that can be met with a thud when it's not accounted for with the delicacy that it deserves, right? Like by trying to thread the needle, by trying to do, by trying to put, like, it's just an investment. It's an investment in time, relationships, all of those things that they feel like will pay dividends and translate to the actual field in the fall.
Fitz, do you have any surprises you want to bring up?
I am surprised because when you take a look at new staffs coming in, and this is not just a Penn State thing, as I often say, this is a national thing. You want to make the biggest splash possible. We all remember dominate the state, and that is, there's credence in that strategy to build up what you're doing, especially on the home front, and to make that work as to take whatever you can to take the best 20 prospects from Pennsylvania right away. Great. They're not doing that. They are doing evaluations. They're sticking to their guns, to what they said they were going to do. I doubted that they were going to do that because there are some players in Pennsylvania. If you go down to the rivals rankings and you look at the state rankings, there are players in there that aren't great prospects, as the stars beside their name would lead you to believe. And again, this is way too early to be talking stars. It is February. We haven't done an update on the 2027 class since they were playing in their junior years. So a lot of movement to come. Penn State has established that they are going to evaluate their way through this. This new staff has established that, and they're doing that. And some of the guys on that list, and look, this is not a situation where they looked at Maxwell Hiller and said they don't want Maxwell Hiller. They just have been beaten on that one before. A lot of tail on that one that goes back into the fall. But you look down the list, and there are guys there that are not really considering Penn State as much as you would think, and there are guys there that Penn State is not really considering them as much as you would think. So they've stuck to their guns. Is it a winning strategy? We will see. Sometimes you should take those guys. You do take those guys that have a certain cachet about them, especially from Pennsylvania, maybe Maryland, New Jersey, those places to build it up. And, unfortunately, from a Penn State perspective, we have Penn State's class of 2014 and 2015 as an example here. And that's just so far in the past, so far in the rearview mirror, that essentially doesn't matter as much anymore. So
Right.
I've been surprised with how Penn State has approached some of these guys, and they seem to believe that their evaluations are better than most, better than everyone's. And again, we're going to see how that plays out in the next couple of years, because it is not a here is the answer on February 17th situation. So I have been, number one, impressed that they've stuck to their guns. Number two, skeptical that that is the way to get it done right away. They've got no commits in the class of 2027, and I don't think it's time to panic, but it is time to look at it and say, wow, this is a much different approach than we are used to seeing under James Franklin, and it's going to take some getting used to. Some are handling it better than others.